I was thoroughly impressed with Kaiju number 8. I had seen a post on this a while ago, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just give it a shot and watch something because I was reading Dune recently and I wanted to check this out. And it is way better than I ever would have thought. And that's primarily because of the main character, Hibino. Has so much determination, grit, resolve, and he does not and will not accept failure. He's in his mid-30s, early 30s now at this point in time. Everybody else has been able to get into the corporation that he's wanting to go into. He's gone and tested and failed multiple different times. His book smarts are great, but his personal strength is not very strong. So when he goes in, he fails every single time, and all he wants to do is be next to his childhood friend, Mina. And he's able to do that later in the series, yet at the very beginning, he's just like this normal character. He just wants to help like the youth and help them become stronger just as much as he wants to become stronger. He wants to help them achieve their goals. And that's why as soon as Reno saw him within like the first or second episode, when he could see his boss like introduced him and so on and so forth to Hibino, and was like, hey, like, this is who you're going to be working under. And it's just like he always wants to go into the entrance exams to be able to become like a hunter, basically. And he's like, this might be the last time. And Reno noticed the sadness in his eyes when he ended up saying that. He's like, I want to help this guy. I want to help him get here. So they both like worked and trained, and like they cleaned up the different monsters to be able to figure out their specific ways to be able to defeat the kaiju. And he found his own little strength. And this is the thing, is we all have our own inherent strengths. We all have our own inherent abilities. We all have our own ways of making the most out of the situation. Sure, we might not be strong like Kokoru, or we might not be strong like Shoshiro, like the guy that has like the swords and everything like that. We might not have their physical strength, but what we do have is our mind. We have our ability to think outside of the box. We have our ability to stop like the mushroom-looking crab things because we find their core, because we've dissected so many other kaijus up until this point, so we can be valuable. Our value does not necessarily always have to come from our physical strength. Our value can come from other aspects of our strength. It can come from our intellect. It could come from our powers that we've been gifted from a kaiju, but we don't want to expose ourselves because then we're going to be hunted down and dissected and turned into a weapon. That's not the thing that we want, but that's something that Hibino teaches us within Kaiju number 8, is he shows us that you can still be valuable even if you don't have the strength. Like when he first put on like the still suit, or the suit that he was like wearing, he got 0. Like he had 0 strength, and people are like, oh, nobody has ever gotten below like a 0, and then it goes to him and he has a 0. And then throughout the series, he gets like up to a 0.1, but he's also way stronger than all of the other like cadets are, due to the fact that he has the kaiju within him. He can't show that right off the rip, because if he does, then now he's going to be like hunted and turned into a weapon, like I said previously. So he has to find different ways to show value without showing his true strength. He still does use it from time to time, but he like hides it in a good way to be able to like, hey, look, I am strong. And that's why Kikuro, when she first sees like Hibino lift up the car and like put it down, she's like, oh, okay, like I want to see this level of him during the training, but he couldn't show that level of training or that version of himself because then he would have been hunted down like he was later in the series. But like the main takeaway is like, don't give up, keep trying, keep testing. Like eventually maybe you'll catch your break, and even if you don't catch your break, at least you gave it a shot, at least you tried, at least you attempted. And some people can be like, well, that's insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But it's like, you could be chopping down a tree over and over and over. You're doing the same thing on repeat until a tree falls over. Like there's so many different options, and your time is never running out, and wherever you are at right now in your life is exactly where you need to be, because you will get to the place to when you need to be there at that said time. Just like Hibino finally was able to get accepted into the opportunity because one of the people, Hoshirino, the guy that has the swords again, he was like, I like his comic relief, so I want to give him a chance, even though his friend Mina was like, I would have accepted him as well too, but like since they had a childhood history, they couldn't necessarily do that. So his supporting, like her like second lieutenant or whatever it was able to help him out. And it's an overall such a good series because everybody's helping each other. Everybody wants to get stronger. They're like working and figuring like, what did we do well here? What did we not do well? Like they have these big bonding experiences over one another. And just because you're old, just because maybe you're approaching 30, or you're going to be in your 30s, or you're in your 30s right now, and you see all these other younger kids or these other people online or all over the world, wherever it is, doing quote unquote better than you, that doesn't mean that you aren't at the place that you need to be, because you are at the exact place that you need to be. And when your time is, and when it is meant to be, it will be. So don't stress, don't worry. You'll learn and you'll achieve what you need to achieve when you need to achieve it. I hope this video helped, and if it did, you can subscribe for more.